After years of neglect, this 1967 Austin Healey Sprite is getting a new lease on life as we clean it up and get it ready to give away to one of our lucky subscribers.
So today we are over at Mr. Dent. We came over to the shop to work on the Austin because the 401 tip tank mounts need some special rivets that we don't have. So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna dig on the Austin today, get that thing ready so you guys can win it.
Hey Joe, it's been a while since you've got to see your toolbox, and you have some nice new drawers to put in there. You didn't even put your drawers in yet, dude. It's been here for like months, man. So you're gonna hear some banging and tapping because Dean's gonna be Mr. Denning, and you're gonna hear some noise also over here from the recon shop. This is where I used to spend most of my life. So I kind of miss coming around here and seeing everybody though. I'm not sure if they miss me.
We miss you.
Right. We have the Austin. We're gonna dig into this in a moment, but right now, Joe is like in tool heaven because he has his beloved toolbox that got damaged in that accident that he was in. So you get a fixed toolbox, but I didn't get a fixed Escalade. What's up with that?
I haven't got to use my toolbox either, though. You haven't got to use your Escalade since the accident.
Well, I did. I kind of did. I towed with it with like a crooked hitch and everything else. So Joe and I are going to get this toolbox actually while let's unpack these boxes, dude, and let's get your drawers back in.
I haven't even got to straighten it back out since the accident.
That looks pretty bad, Joe.
It looks really bad.
This is hurting a little bit of his mechanic soul right now.
Yeah, tears are, I'm holding them back.
Holding back tears. Well, if you wouldn't run into people, I'd stop so quick at stoplights and have people run into you.
I only backed up at 50 mile an hour.
Yeah, right. Man, yeah, this thing needs some attention. Cool, yeah, let's get the drawers in.
Hey, bang, look at that. Look at that, Joe. You said it's a little twisted, but if you look at the alignment there, since we fixed that drawer, it looks pretty good. That looks way better than the alignment on your bodywork. So we got this back from 23rd Garage, and we want to give it away. But before you give it away, we have a couple things that we need to do to it, like get it running again. Because this whole thing was apart. 23rd Garage, the guys out there, Yuri and his team, have so much time in this thing, and it looks really good. If you guys see the paint we chose for it was this like maroon, this metallic maroon. This is the same red that we picked out for the 401. It's just a really cool ruby red metallic. So we have a couple things to do to it, but first we got to figure out what all that is, because I'm seeing a lot of stuff like unhooked and not hooked back up. So yeah, so we just have a couple things to do to it to get it back to like running condition. All right, so we pulled everything out of the Austin here and we got it out on the floor so we could see what we were working with. 23rd Garage really dug in, the guys out there. I can't thank them enough. You know, check out all the videos. They do some awesome bodywork, some awesome framework. I would say frame-wise, I mean, they work on some crazy stuff and they do a great job. So they went like the extra mile. They repaired the trunk, they did all the bodywork. They put in panels like everywhere, and it's got a new paint job. It looks really good, and this red works really well. But now we have all these parts out on the floor that we got to get fitted back in there. There's some things we're not going to restore. This isn't like a restoration. We just wanted to make it better for the next guy. There's still going to be some stuff that they're going to have to do, you know, if you want it 100% perfect, but it's going to run good. It'll drive good. I think we're going to go ahead. We're going to throw a new top on it as well, you know, just so it has a good sealing top. There's a couple gaskets that we have to put on it. There's a couple bumpers like we need to put on for the doors. So we're gonna go over, oh, and some seals. Joe and I are gonna dig in today. I think, Joe, what do you think? We start with the engine here?
Yeah, I think first things first, we need to get it running.
Yeah, so let's get it running again. I don't know if we're gonna keep those carbs on or if we're gonna put like a Weber setup on it or something. Guys say they're awesome carbs. They're oil filled, they're a little bit different. This whole car's different. I think it still has the positive earth, I think they call it. We're gonna try doing, wiring it up that way and seeing if it works, because you can hook it up either way. But I do know that we had it hooked up backwards and drove it that way and started it for a long time. I think that may be why none of the dash worked right and stuff, and why the headlights acted really weird when we first drove it. Right there it says positive earth. So these gauges are positive earth gauges, so we had them backwards, so it wasn't going to work. So that was my fault, didn't know. Yeah, so let's get digging in on this thing and see if we can get it running. They're gonna run?
I think so.
Cool. I guess we gotta get a battery. Let's get a battery.
Battery first.
Battery first.
Well, it fits-ish. I think that's good enough for now.
So we did go ahead and we wired it up as positive earth, like it says on the dash. I'm gonna go ahead, if you feel good, I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna turn the ignition on. Let's see if we get any smoke from the wires.
If we do, I'm just gonna run.
You're just gonna run. All right, let's see what happens here. All right, so it has lights like in here, but it has no anything else. Wasn't there like a fuel pump, electric fuel pump on this or something, I thought? All right, so let's make sure we actually, that battery put in, let's make sure it has juice. I guess that would be, I mean, it was sitting here in the shop forever, so who knows if it even has juice. It says it's got 12.4 volts. We'll go ahead and give it a little extra jumper pack juice. Yeah, it looks like there's some wires hanging out down here too. Some of them that aren't hooked up. That looks like a light there, but if you move the wires around down here, there, now the fuel gauge works now. Now it doesn't, now it does, now it doesn't, now it does. None of the stuff on the dash is working, and like we got wires kind of taped up, and this is starting to remind me of the 401 right now. on a much smaller scale, right? So, well, we got this wire here that's not hooked to anything. So, all right, to be continued. So when we turn the ignition on, we're not getting anything except for a light. So under here, this is an electric pump, fuel pump. Someone obviously added at one time, but this is how it used to run. I'm not sure if this is a positive ground hooked or if this is negative ground hooked, and we're just not sure if something's unhooked or anything. So we're not hearing this thing pump. That means it's not getting electric, so we're just gonna have to start tracing wires. So we're unhooking the battery, and we're gonna see, because we hooked it up positive earth and we're not getting anything, but we figured a quick and easy way is to hook the jumper pack up the other way around to a negative earth, and we'll see if that makes a difference, or is it just the fact that like stuff's not hooked up or what. So, but that's a quick check. All right, I'm gonna turn the ignition on. Ready?
Yep. There's a pump.
Now I'm gonna go ahead and crank this thing over. Are you ready? It is in neutral. It's not gonna go through the door. Ish. All right, so the pump works. There's still no start, but the pump works. So that to me says at least that pump is a regular ground setup, because it's definitely not working the other way around. So to me that says someone switched this over, at one point. Or did someone put an electric pump in and wired that up as a normal, I don't know.
Things that make you go,
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Look at it. So we've been eating so much at like 3 restaurants because over by the hangar, there's like 3 restaurants within driving distance. So being over at the shop, we can grab something a little bit different, and some of this pizza is really good. All right, Joe, so every time we're over at the pizza shop over by the hangar, he's always talking about this bacon chipotle chicken.
Chicken chipotle.
Yeah, so he's always like talking about that. So of course that's what we had to order today. Although we did have pizza yesterday. It's like diet pizza.
So we got the battery switched around. We still didn't get any kind of turning over out of the starter. So we're gonna start with the starter solenoid, and we're gonna, you know, backtrack from there and see where it goes.
Yeah, so basically just trace it back, right?
Yep.
And see, yeah, because it is not turning over whatsoever.
Yeah, we're not even getting a click. So.
No. All right, but the fuel pump works.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead. I'll hop in here and let's see what we got. There goes the fuel pump. All right, do you have juice up on the solenoid?
Yeah, I have juice from the battery.
All right, let me go ahead and turn that over. Anything?
It's either going to be a bad signal here, or it's just a bad solenoid altogether.
Right.
This should come from the ignition to tell the solenoid to open
Which
up.
runs right through here, which is under the dash. So let me get under the dash here. Those wires come in under here somewhere. Oh, it's off. Right here it is. All right, so right here's that wire. It is indeed off. And I'll bet you it goes right here. All right. Ready? Yep. Hey!
That was easy enough.
That was like very easy. Which also now the fuel gauge is working. And it's kind of firing.
We got fuel in the filter now.
Is there? Okay. I'm gonna try to fire it up. You ready? Oh, yeah, let me pull the choke here. Ready?
Yep.
So it seems like maybe the firing order is wrong. So maybe these plug wires were switched around because it goes to start, but it's not completely engaging. But I'm not 100% sure. So we're gonna go ahead and look up the firing order and see if that's what's going on. So I started pulling the plug wires, and for some reason, the plug ends and wires are totally corroded. So we're gonna clean those up. Maybe that is why it's actually not turning over. I'm sure it's not helping. How's this on? All right, so we went ahead and we cleaned the plug ends because they were really corroded. Go ahead and give it another shot. Do you have any ether around here? Never did that before. Let's see if this engine is actually turning backwards. No, it's turning the right direction. All right, let's check the distributor cap, and then I guess, like you were saying, we'll check the firing order. But it's definitely, the starter's disengaging, which it never did that before. It would keep like turning it over until it started. Yeah. So it might be kind of backfiring and kicking it backwards. All right, so we moved the wires around. I don't know if it's right, but we'll give it a try.
I'd say that's probably not the right timing or the right order, firing order.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and do this the old-fashioned way. We know that this is number 1 in the firing order, so we're gonna go ahead and get this up on number 1 and then make sure that we put the rotor on this wire hitting it. As long as you know the order of the way that it's supposed to fire and then you make the rotor run that way, it should be right. I wonder if on this one if I can literally just... That's it, right? All right, so here's top dead center. And we're gonna go and pop this cap off. And we will see where we're at timing wise. So right now, if you look, the rotor is pointed back here towards the back. That would be right before it hits this one, right here, which was on number 1. Go ahead and put this plug back in. Three, 4, and then this one would be 2. Let's go ahead and crank it over to see what happens. Nothing, huh? Smell gas. That sounds off. That sounds 180 degrees off, doesn't it? But
you gotta remember, there's no exhaust on it, so it's gonna sound different.
wait a second. Open the throttle up. Don't turn over. Oh. Okay, now try it. Give me gas. All right, it's off. All right, we switched around the like 180 degrees of rotation, so we'll see if that does it. Don't drive through the door. Aww. Yeah. So, I blew it out.
You blow hard.
I'm a little dizzy now. All right, where's that fire extinguisher? Oh, it's right over there. All right, here, why don't you grab that, Joe?
Just in case.
Yeah. There you go. All right, let's put this a little closer. All right, there we go. So that obviously didn't work so well. It's popping and backfiring. Like I don't understand because it never did this before. So it's kind of weird. All right, let's try one more time. You got the choke on.
Yep.
Makes a nice pop.
I would too if I didn't have anything past my manifold.
It's a little closer. All right, let me try the next way. So I went another, yeah, I changed it. Let's see if this works. No, it's not working. All right.
79.
One more time. Hey! Wait. saying?
It almost seemed like the fuel was surging.
Yeah, so those carburetors need adjusted.
Slowing down, they rev.
The carburetors need adjusted. So those carbs are definitely off.
It held it idle there almost.
Yeah,
It was still a
so
little surge.
so the carbs need set. The ignition timing was way off. The firing order was off. So we adjusted all that. That's good to go now. These carbs are supposed to be some black magic thing of how to set them, which I have to read up on them a little bit. But basically what we ended up doing is just taking the firing order and I kept rotating it around the distributor until it started. Like just changing it one number per the rotate. Anyway, it works. So I had an idea what was going on. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop the tops off of the reservoir and make sure there's fuel getting in there. So if you look at this setup here, the floats for these carburetors, it's just like an old motorcycle float with like a needle valve, which is pretty cool. But I was kind of wondering if it was starving for fuel, but if you look down in here, it's got fuel in there. The gasket is ripped, and it was ripped before, you can tell. So that does need replaced. We'll replace that. But I don't know if this whole thing needs cleaned out or serviced or what, but I'm probably pretty likely. I'm gonna go ahead and put this back together. All right, Joe, do you want to hop in there and fire that thing up? We had the manual over there, which has been really nice because we used it once a couple years ago now. We just used it to figure out the firing order and make sure we, could set things correctly. But I was looking at the adjustment of these SU carbs. Yeah, it pretty much says it's a huge pain.
Is that what it says in the manual?
Yeah, it's a huge pain.
Do not attempt. This is a pain.
Yeah. For the most part, it's just saying it's going to be a pain. So. But we will. Interesting. All right, so that is how it works. Wow. All right. Yeah, there's like all kinds of adjustments and procedures where you got to like unhook the choke. You got to like synchronize. You got to stick like a hose in the intake and listen to it.
Like a stethoscope?
No, like a hose. That's a picture of like a piece of hose sticking in your ear. I'm not kidding. And you have to, so I haven't adjusted one of these before. It's definitely different, and you have to sync them, and you use that piece of hose to listen to the sync of it, like how it's syncing with the other one. So I think what we're going to do is I think we're going to go ahead and fire it up, and I'm just going to like adjust on it a little bit here and there until maybe I can hear from here where it's going to be a little more balanced. But as I adjusted either carb just with my fingers and the shafts and stuff, I could see, you just hear it level out a lot more. So. Joe, if you could go ahead and fire it up, I will see if we can't get this thing to level out a little bit better.
Clear prop. Oh no, this ain't an airplane. Never mind.
See in there? Joe, do you want to get me a tag? All right.
sounds pretty darn good too.
Doesn't stop worth anything.
No.
Did you hear him power slide down there, pulling the handbrake?
I was a little worried, though.
So allegedly, I may not have had perfect brakes, and I may have used the e-brake a little bit to slow down. But yeah, it definitely catches you off guard when. So you can hear it, and it sounds so cool. So you want to keep going and catching some more gears. I'll tell you what, it scoots. It actually goes pretty good. Like I was really surprised.
You
So
got that thing moving a good bit.
I think I'm thinking of that stock exhaust. I think we at least got to put something a little better than that on it because I think it's the size of a quarter, like the outlet, and I can tell a big difference with the open header.
Shop and let them put something back with a cherry bomb.
Yeah, things pretty cool. So we got a bunch of parts we got to order. We have a lot of stuff we got to get, but we got a call a little while ago from Dr. Sean, and Joe is getting his freaking teeth today. Let's go. Let's get out of here, bro. For some reason, Joe hasn't been so attentive to the car since we got that call a few minutes ago. So we're going to get out of here, and we're going to go get Joe some teeth.
You excited?
Extremely.
Hey, how's it going?
Good.
What's
How are
happening?
you?
We're all coming back.
Yeah.
We got a party today.
Oh yeah.
That's it.
Thing sounds nasty.
Those vacuums are going to kill me. It's kind of like the hangar doors. It's like